Hello, welcome to the Irish Independence League of Ireland Premier Division review. I'm Seán O'Connor. I was at Richmond Park tonight. Dan McDonnell, you were up in the Brandywell and finished Shamrock Rovers 3, Derry City 1.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, Derry 1, Shamrock Rovers 3, I guess, in terms of the accurate reading of it, like the impact of it is Shamrock Rovers going to Derry City's patch, to the home of their, I guess, the team we expected to be the nearest challenger, and beating them. You may hear the sound of sirens in the background, unfortunately, which isn't a great sound. There was incidents towards the end of this game where the Shamrock Rovers, they've sort of changed the layout of the stadium here for away fans because there's renovations ongoing. So there's a small section of Shamrock Rovers fans over sort of on a mound to the side of the main stand, and a flare was thrown in their direction from outside of the ground. Actually made it all the way onto the pitch. While leaving the stadium, the Shamrock Rovers fans were brought out into the centre circle because there was a sense, obviously, there was stuff coming in from outside. So probably hear a little bit more of that. It's a strange one because it's happened outside the ground. It's a bit different to Drogheda, where something has been thrown from inside the stadium, but still it's an unfortunate story. So I suppose that will follow its own course, I guess. And as you can maybe hear in the background, there's elements of it ongoing. Football-wise, Shamrock Rovers could have gone either way in the first half of this game. I mean, Rovers had Aaron Green broke the offside trap, which was ominous for what was to come. They botched a good chance, but Derry had 3 good ones before the break. Two of the Rovers back, 3 on yellow cards. At half time, you're probably thinking from a Derry perspective, okay, let's step it up. Good for 5 minutes of the second half, and then they got done twice by the same type of goal. Watts for Green. It's game over then. Richard Hell gets another. And for Derry, a few boos, not happy.
Yeah, like we spoke to Rory Higgins during the week, and he said a really important thing was to make sure they tightened up at the back, and 3 goals conceded at home. It's not a great night for them, all things considered.
No, it's not. I mean, again, it's the similarity of the goals, sort of. Aaron Green, I mean, I think that's the thing as well. It's not even a full-strength Shamrock Rovers. Aaron Green probably isn't playing. If everyone's fully available, you could argue. No disrespect to him. He's had a real renaissance this year. Derry, again, they play with a back 3, almost matching up Rovers. I know they play it in other games, but Graham Burke's dropping deep at times. It's 1 against 3 in some respects. And, he scored twice.
It's a big win for Shamrock Rovers. They face leaders Shelbourne at Dalymount Park on Monday, but it was back-to-back defeats for Damien Duff's men tonight, falling to 1-0 defeat in Galway.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've spoken about Galway wins before and moved on to the team that they've beaten. So I think you have to give Galway due credit because they've not been scoring very many goals. But that's a sort of testament to their defensive resolution. That despite probably being the lowest scorers in the division, it seems. I mean, Dundalk would probably be actually maybe below them, but it's neck and neck. They're still picking up points, and I know there was no Shells fans there. I should actually point out the Shamrock Rovers now will go top if they win in Dalymount Park on Monday, and that's with a game in hand. So it shows how quickly that advantage can be eroded. And I think for Shells, it is a test of character. It's it's funny. I've said a couple of times I couldn't see them being that type of team that would go on a string of defeats, suffer a string of defeats, but they are trying to now avoid 3 in a row on Monday.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive match on Monday. Shells against Shamrock Rovers. As I said, I was at Richmond Park tonight, finished St. Pat's 1, Waterford 1. And I think for Waterford, especially in the first half, they'll feel like it's 2 points dropped here when 1-0 up early on. But they really had 2 big chances to double their lead through Asamoah and Amond. Didn't take them. It was triple change on the hour mark that added the spark that St. Pat's really needed. A moment to forget for Sam Sargent, spilling Forrester's shot. Brandon Kavanagh there to tap in. And I think all things considered, especially after a slow first half start, Dan, Pats to be happy enough with a point here.
Yeah, will they? I mean, you can give it the context. I don't think. I mean, it's the nature of the league this year. Again, you have teams sort of, Pats would like to be pushing on, and Waterford are a newly promoted team. On
the other hand, Waterford could have well been 3-0 up at half time.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Really easily. Really slow, didn't threaten at all first. It really took until the hour mark for Pats to really get going. It's a few shouts here for John Daly to make the changes, and it was that triple change that added the spark that they needed. Just looking at the other results, Dundalk's long way for a goal is over. They came from behind to draw with Sligo Rovers in the showgrounds 1-1, but they still remain bottom down. Dundalk.
Yeah, they do. I mean, trying to follow a little bit of that game, but sounds like Sligo Rovers were dominant early. Probably a great goal / per goalkeeping penalty after half time from Jamie Gullen. Probably needed that for confidence. It seems like they had, both teams had chances in what followed. I think Dundalk are steadying the ship a little bit, but again, stating the obvious, they need to start getting wins on the board. I guess they might look at it and see Drogheda have lost, so they've gained a point. On the league table in that respect. But we probably should mention Bohs as well too, who are
three wins in a row.
Yeah, they are, and it just goes through the power of a couple of wins in a row. Probably winning games you're expected to win after winning in Talca Park. That's great for Alan Reynolds, I think, just to probably still has work to do there, but just gives them a bit of point security while they go about that work.
Bows now in second, 2 points off. They lead the Shells, but of course Rovers have that. Shamrock Rovers have that game in hand. Of course, Dan, that's great. We'll chat to you again soon. You can keep up to date on all the latest League of Ireland follow-ups across the weekend with the Irish Independent. Thanks for watching.